My name is Vince Moffitt with the Royal Rescue. We're here talking today about our rescue boat, which is a Jack's Plastic Welding special fully inflatable cataraft capable of operating in large and small water environments. It's made out of PVC. It's made to inflate to approximately 4 or 5 psi. The Jack's Plastic Welding actually put a pump on it and inflated it, and it blew up at 90 psi. It didn't break on the weld, which is what one would think is where the material is welded. I guess the seams underneath, it actually split along the material. So it's very strong. When it's dry, it's not very durable, so right now rolling around with sand, it's like sandpaper on it, but as soon as it gets wet, it's very slick. The disadvantage, as we saw when we were playing with it in the surf in Hawaii, is when it gets slick, it's hard to stay in the boat sometimes. So we really have to have a good platform. So when I paddle this thing, the thwarts gives it its lateral stability, so they need to be in there tight. And there's one strap, if you ever take it apart, there's one strap down here that gives it some stability that has to be in place, and it's underneath the thwart. So you need to remember that strap's there. So if you guys ever take it apart for whatever reason, make sure you take pictures, because otherwise it will fold. So there's one strap on each side that needs to be put in place. Since they're glued, they're not going to be as strong, but we could hook to the cones if we want to. I would just prefer to go to either a grommet or the webbing side. On the ends, I don't know if you guys, I ended up on mine putting 2 different attachment points here, one here and one here, so I could change the height of that mesh if I needed to. But it's got a bungee in it to allow a victim to be able to push that down and grab onto these loops and pull themselves up into the boat. And then once we have that victim in there, we can then paddle them to the shore or whatever we need to do. The bad thing about this boat being so light is I guess there's a good thing and a bad thing. It's going to turn and pivot real easily. So, you know, in big water, you really have to watch that. Because people need to practice, and they need to, the majority of the time you guys are going to be using this, I would imagine, would be in a flood, or it's going to be on some sort of rope system that we're going to do today. Questions about the boat?